So we're in the process of putting our axle on. We've already installed our little brackets for the fender and adjusted them. We put the axle underneath and ratcheted up close to where we're going to put it. And now we're going to assemble it. So we got the front bolt in for the leaf spring. And we just have to ratchet it up to put the back leaf spring bolt in also. So we made sure our leaf springs are parallel to the frame, and we tightened down our bolts. And we also made sure the axle was centered by measuring the distance between here and the leaf springs on both sides, and they're equal. So now we'll be able to tighten down these bolts underneath, U-bolts.
There it is.
So I got my spool of rope here, and we're putting a water pipe, 3/4 inch water pipe, and we put a little rag on the end of the rope and push it into the pipe. And then I'm going to go to the other end with the vacuum cleaner and pull that right through. Turn it on.
Turn it on. So we just took the vacuum, stick it on the end of the pipe here.
Okay, I think it's through. There's your... Now we have a piece of string to pull our wires to the front.
So what we did is we drilled a hole here in the pipe. We're hopefully to be able to pull the wire down and try and hook it and pull it out here for this side of the trailer. And the other end of the trailer, we're just simply going to bring it out the end. So the whole wire will be protected with this pipe. So we've been working on our carriage assembly. What's important here is that you line up your carriage bolts to heads in line with your squares. Because inside over here, you'll see there's spacer bars. And you got to line up your holes on the spacer bars with the holes in the carriage bolts. So you have to make sure that you count off the holes that are available on your spacer bar, line up with the holes on your plates. And that's how you're sure of where your bars go. And you might have to rotate your bar end for end. Say like put this end on the other end or vice versa, because the bar won't line up all the holes otherwise. So that's what we're working on. And we also set in our slider bar, and we installed the plastics and the mounts for the saw. So that's what we're working on. So when you're assembling these here carriage rollers, carriage, you want to remember this is going towards where you're going to be cutting. And on the rear of this, you'll see it has a bunch of bolt holes. That's to assemble the handles, etc. on. And then we'll turn it onto this side. This is the wheel. When you're assembling that, it's important to remember the order of these pieces. This is the short spacer, the wheel, the long spacer, and of course the carriage bolt going right through. So we're going to assemble one over here. So we're going to take the short spacer, set it in, take the wheel, set it in, the long spacer, and you want to make sure that you're upright up and down, so when they're in place, that this will act as a preventing it from jumping off. And when you tighten this, you don't go crazy tightening it down. You just more or less snug it up because you want the wheel to roll freely. So that's what we're going to do now. And this side is the operator's side. We'll show you on the sawdust side in a minute.
It assembles differently.
It assembles differently. So when you're installing the sawdust side, you can see here the flange is on the exterior. That's where your bolt is going to come in from. On this side, because you can see it's square. Put it down. Your bolt goes on. Your spacer goes in. Your wheel goes on. With no spacer on the interior, allowing the wheel to move from left to right. If your track is not 100% straight, well then it'll be able to move and follow the track. There's only one fixed side, which is on the operator side. The non-operator side has movement, so it can follow the track. That's something you gotta remember, guys. So we're working on the bearings that go on the side of the carriage. If Audrey can come in and show you. Right here. They'll fit on here to prevent the carriage from lifting off the trailer. So they provide these here bolts for you. You can see they got like the head cut in half. So that reasoning is so that they'll pass, if you look over on this side, the bolts that hold the rail in place. If you can see them here. That's to prevent them from hitting. So I've been working on this for a little bit and I said to myself, I find these bolts are pretty loose in the bearings. I'll show you. This is the bolt they give you. If you can see the bearing of the bolt, just flails around in there. So what I did was, I went and replaced the bolt. I found a carriage bolt. Now I don't need to worry about that head touching the bolt on the rail. And the carriage bolt sits right in there. Makes a nice tight fit. There's no movement in the bearing whatsoever. So then you take a nut on top of that, here, to prevent any loose, and it gives you a good shim between the bearing and the exterior plate, which is over here. I'll show you. So this is the bolt I made. And that lines up nice now. So now I'll put a washer on it and should be all set to go. The nut comes up, holds the bearing in proper place, and it rolls nice and evenly. So now when you adjust it, it should hold its adjustment. Screws.
Well tightened down.
Yep. So we installed this one. Now we'll install this one on the side. So we'll just put our little shim in there to prevent it from jamming up. Tighten her down, and we're all set. Let's go in there.
There it goes. Ready for it.
Loosen your inside ones. Try your block on top now. Yeah, now I feel safer.
Okay. Did it go right down?
I think it's
Almost.
almost done.
Get up and hit it.
Okay. So,
Land it.
yeah. So one thing to remember when you're assembling this, for these bars to slide in, you can't have these tight. All 8 bolts have to be loose to allow it to move. Otherwise you can't get it all lined up.
So now could we tighten it?
Well, we're going to look and see there. I think we have to put the head parts on,
Okay.
and then we'll tighten it.
Okay.
Then everything should be square and lined up. We'll put our bottom bolts in to lock it in place and everything after too. So that'll be tomorrow's project.
Yeah, that's it for tonight.
And that's it for today.
That went down. Heard the clunk.
So we'll install the next one,
Yep.
and we'll keep going.
That one didn't go down. This must be out too much, yeah. Okay, I got it. There.
Try it again, lift it up and put it back down. There you go.
That's on. The little Allen bolt was sticking in too much. Needed a bolt. Oh, this will be the top one. What's next? Come on. I have to get up there.
Yeah, to get a ladder on.
I thought I had a ladder here.
So when you're installing these here handles or brackets or whatever you want to call them, and on a trailer package, it has the wheels, you want to remember to avoid undoing it again to install these brackets here. They'll hook on to here later. That prevents it from sliding backwards, forwards
When you're driving.
when you're driving.
Okay, now I need my 4 bolts here and nuts.
Okay, I'm going to get you the bolts and nuts and you're going to install that.
Is it starting to look like a sawmill?
Starting to, huh?
With no saw on it yet.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay, that's all tight, finger tight.
So now we'll start tightening it all down. We've got everything in place. And we'll start tightening with the top parts, working our way down, making sure that the saw head where the level is will be able to slide up and down easily. So we're going to work on that.
So today we installed our pulley. This little piece was a little bit tricky. The instructions weren't too clear of how to put it on, but we figured it out.
Go over here so you can see. So this little piece here has to fit up into the frame, right up in here. Then the spring and this nut. And your cable, see if I can show you. You start winding it from the outside in.
To go up to this piece.
There you go. And we installed the other pulleys up top here.
This pulley and this one here.
And we did the same down here.
This pulley and this one.
So we're going to put our cables on. Keep working from there.
We're going to put the cable in this little U-bolt. I didn't read the instructions, but I think it goes here. Well, can I get that in? Yep. Put this little pin back in. Okay. Bend it up. Don't come back out. Oh, gonna need pliers to do that. There we go. Now I go over the small pulley.
You go up to the solid pulley.
This one?
Yeah.
Go over this way?
Doesn't that pass?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Make it come down.
Take the nut off of this too.
That's a little tricky. No, I think if the bolt pass, the nut pass. Just to get it to bend down.
Nice.
Well, there we go. And then it goes like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes around this one again.
Mm-hmm. And back up.
Around this one. Now the bolt doesn't pass. Okay, now where it goes there.
Yeah, it goes around once.
Does it matter under or over?
I think as long as it goes the right way.
And goes in here?
Your nut has to go in there first.
Okay.
Halfway. The other nut should be there somewhere. Oh, here it is here.
That's about halfway.
Shove it in that hole.
That's a little bit tricky. Oh, there we go. Fits. Okay. You have to tighten it, I imagine?
No, that's how you adjust it.
Okay.
To make it level there. And
Okay.
you adjust it here.
Okay. So that's one side done. Pin back in. Pinchers. Back through this one. Now my nut. Halfway on. And we go under and over. I guess I'm gonna have to make a little more. It doesn't want to go in. I have.
Bring it over a little bit closer. That or your bolt on the bottom's too tight.
Yeah, my bolt in the bottom.
See? So we had to loosen this here off to give us more loose on the cable.
And I'll see if I could get, where's my other nut? Okay, yeah, I could get my nut on. That's going to be tight. There, it's just on barely.
Yeah, we'll tighten up there.
Okay. So that's how the cable goes.